What's going on, everybody? We're back, bitches. David, do it. Just do it. I know you're going to do it.
You're staring at me because you know it's like coming out as I'm talking.
It's going to happen. So there it is. There it is. So
I don't know why.
So I'm staring at David, not because if you watch us on YouTube, we're not on a computer screen like normal.
Watch it.
We are live, which is weird. We're actually in front of each other. David is sitting on my pull-out couch, and with us next to us is not Joe Hackett, the person formerly known as Joe Hackett, person formerly known as HACKnoCAP, aka Jacket.
There it is.
What's going on?
What's going on? Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so we had. I had a lot of things going on in my life. We were on a hiatus, obviously, because not only did I have a daughter 3 months ago, I moved from a smaller house to a much bigger house. Things have been hectic, and me and Dave have just not been able to coordinate anything at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I mean,
the
summer is wild for me, so now that everything's dying down, it's easier.
I wish we had the camera going, though, because David's kind of growing a Cosmo Kramer haircut.
And I know you want to show off
It's not complete. It's not complete. I have, I'm in an office, which is nice. I was in a quote unquote office last time, but it was kind of like half Josie's playroom. This one, it's actually walled off from Josie's playroom. It's on the other side of the wall here. So, but it's not ready yet, Joe, so don't blow up my spot.
They can't see it. They can't see it, but you have a runner's book as if you like actually still do that.
But it's a terrible and wonderful reason why I run long distances. So
but you don't anymore.
Listen, I had knee surgery, so I'm still in the recovery phase. So stop your nonsense.
Joe runs a mile and a half, and now he's going to pick on you.
Yeah, a mile and a half. Well, I probably still, with the broken knee, could have ran it faster.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now he has to make fun.
If you could stand up, huh?
You're getting gray hairs, man. Gray hairs.
I've had gray hair since I was like 23.
I know, okay.
But so got a lot of things happening, but we're back. Hopefully we're going to be back David and I suck at coordinating, so I can't say we're going to be back every week because we are terrible. We might be back every 2 weeks. We might be back every week. We suck, Dave.
We'll figure it out.
We probably won't. We are miserable at what we do.
I'll do my podcast, though. I'll actually get that turning out.
So we're going to, that's a big change. So the Sports Opinions podcast, quite literally just podcast network, just dropped sports, and we're officially the Opinions Podcast Network now. And reason being, because if anyone's listening to this show, I know we have a few faithful listeners. We have been straying away from just being sports. We've been doing more variety, and we're going to continue to do that. And we also have other shows that are being brought in. Obviously, K-Doc, We're Young But Just Us was not only sports. He did comic books. I have opened up into a political podcast called The Median. That's going to now be engulfed into it. HACKnoCAP. We were talking earlier. He might be starting a podcast where it's just no cap
Chat.
No cap chat. No, we can work on names, but it'll be
Chat no cap.
Chat no cap. It could be that, but it's something where he could just kind of go and be like the Little Dicky FX version, but in a podcast with another rapper that's good.
Anybody.
Don't compare me to anybody. But I compare you to Josh. Was it Josh Hutcherson from the Hunger Games? You're Peter Millark.
Dude's good looking. He gets all the biddies. So
he also tried to kill Jennifer Lawrence. So that's not nice.
He made one mistake.
He
choked her like 6 times in one movie.
I never seen it, but
you're dysfunctional.
I know.
But so that's one of the recordings. We have a few new podcasts coming in. Play Action Podcast, Butting Heads Podcast, Hockey Podcast, Colton Gesser from the Personal Foul Podcast doing a great job just recruiting some people that are really interested in coming into a network, and we're always cool with expanding. David mentioned his show. It's going to be called Idler. David, you want to throw a little synopsis for what you're thinking of doing with the show? Things change, but
basically it's a book club with me just reviewing books. Not even explicitly reviewing them. I'm going to talk about why I like it and why I don't like it. There's always pros and cons to every book and everything you do. So I think it would be interesting to just put out reasons for specific books that I read.
So I'm going to get us in trouble just because I don't care. David is a 45-year-old housewife. That is why he is starting a book club with all of his little housewife friends around the community coming in. None of them actually read the books. They just look up Wikipedia synopsis now. And you don't read. You drive around and you listen to Libby all day.
No. I have real hard copies. The first one's going to be The Only Plane in the Sky by Garrett M. Graff.
All right. Well, I'm not going to ruin that.
Are you going to use words like exquisite during your podcast?
If it's needed. I'm not going to try to use big words.
Indeed.
Can you have a British accent the whole time?
No.
Like, I feel like it gets more credence if it's a British accent.
Something like a Morgan Freeman.
It's like certain, Morgan Freeman is just God.
He just
like he
needs to
is
narrate
quite
it.
literally God. If anyone's ever seen Bruce Almighty, if you haven't seen Bruce Almighty,
You're weird.
Great casting.
I'm not going to say you're un-American. You're just unearthling. You don't exist if you haven't seen that movie. I'm pretty sure like half of Nepal's already seen that movie.
Yeah.
But I have no stats confirming that. But overall, there's been some changes. There's been some things going on. But we're going to continue to chug along. The podcasting isn't dead. We're expanding as a network. I'm going to get back to it with sports opinions and the median. David's going to double dip in duty. He might take some guest host duties on sports opinions. I might force it on Hack as well every once in a while. But no cap. So that's what's going on there. So we're going to jump into the topics for fun now. All right, gentlemen, you guys ready to go?
No.
I was born ready.
It's a good thing you were born ready, Joe, because this is your topic.
Yeah.
So we have been talking about manga anime stuff now past 4 or 5 episodes, right, Dave? We've been trying to like talk about the ones that we like. We're going to do something different here because we have all entered into true otakudom. And if you don't know what an otaku is, go look it up, be disappointed, and then you'll stop listening to the podcast.
Just say weeb.
No, we're not weebs. I feel like we're less. Joe might be a weeb.
No.
I think Joe's closer to a weeb than.
Once you start cosplaying, that's when you cross the border, bro. And I'm not doing that, son. I just bought a sick Hisoka shirt, and you can't even tell unless you know.
You
like,
cosplay every day as Peter Millark from the Hunger Games
awful.
just by waking
That's
up.
awful.
So you are an automatic cosplay.
he didn't have the chin thing like I do.
Joe also has waifus. Anyway, he wanted to talk.
September.
He wanted to talk basically about if anyone's ever watched anime or anything. Most of the time, you don't skip the theme songs. It's one of the rare things. It's one of the
You
rare.
listen to it once.
You listen to it once, and then every once in a while, if it's like 100+ episodes, you'll sit there at like episode 35 and be like, "I want to listen to the
I
intro
want to
today."
hear it again.
And usually the outro music is really good too. Like
Usually sad, though.
it's usually sad, but unlike a lot of American cartoons and things, they'll basically just repackage what the intro is, even if it's a good one, and just kind of make it like maybe a little more upbeat or slower instrumental version. Where anime, number one, they'll just have badass songs that half the time have absolutely nothing to do with the anime. So Joe, you have a theory, and a lot of it happens to be rock, which kids under the age of probably 30 don't know what rock is right now because rock is dead. Lord won the best rock album years ago. That's how bad rock is in America, the status of it. But Joe has a theory for why the predominantly rock themes have been staying big in Japan. So, Joe, what is your theory?
Well, America in the early 2000s, I'd say, early and mid 2000s, we had an emo phase. You had your Blink-182s.
I'd say a little before that, too.
Okay, yeah, like the late 1990s.
Once
Simple
grunge
Plan.
and new metal started to fade
Yeah,
out,
you got
I'd
the
say
punk.
that's probably early 2000s because, early 2000s.
Well, anyway, we had our phase, right?
Yeah.
We had our Simple Plans. We had our freaking, I don't know, I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Story of the Year.
Semi-Charmed Life, like stuff like that.
I'd even go like Chiodos and things like that. Like, a lot of your pop punk bands.
Yeah, and especially Green Day and Linkin Park. I love Linkin Park.
All American Rejects, things like that. Yeah.
We moved on from that, and it's weird because now it's like this trap kind of
Rap and house music just basically had
And
sex
even-
and created
yeah,
music, and that's all it is.
I've been calling it rap punk. A lot of
of
it's rap
808s and stuff. But Japan never left. They
One
got
second.
to that emo.
1 second. Can we just say Lil Wayne paved the way with Rebirth when he made a rock rap album that was legitimate rap with rock?
I would still
first.
disagree.
Nope,
though.
Linkin Park.
No. If you want to go there, Limp Bizkit, Korn,
right, but let's not
POD
get
paved
too
the way
far
with
into
new
that.
metal,
Let's not get too
Incubus.
far into that.
So,
Your theory.
go ahead, keep it up with your theory.
Oh yeah, Japan never left the emo phase. They hit it in the 1990s and then they just kept it going. They never moved on to 808s. They never moved on to anything. I do anything like that kind of stuff. And
So
that's
they-
all the OPs.
Are they basically like Eastern Europe where they get like everything like 15 years after we do it?
No,
They just
because
don't
they were
care.
on par with it. And they just kept it, man. They can't rap like
I don't know. They've had some really good rap stuff over there. Their beats are pretty damn dope.
Oh, the beats.
And they can rap. Listen,
I'm not going to listen to a Japan artist, man.
just because they all sound like Papoose doesn't mean they can't rap, okay? They all, like, according to, like, American rap, they would have whack voices. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not going to listen to that if I want to listen to rap.
I mean, some of it sounds good. I don't know what they're saying.
HACKnoCAP. That's a bar.
I will listen to SoundCloud. What's it, SoundCloud?
No, I'm on Apple Music and Spotify.
Apple Music?
Okay, so here's the issue with that. So when I uploaded a lot of my old stuff to Apple Music and Spotify takes a couple days to get your music on there, but it's a lot faster at updating your profile. On the other hand, I got a lot of my most popular old stuff on Apple Music, but they are taking forever to update my I still don't have artist permission, so I can't edit a bio. I can't put pictures up yet. But on Spotify, all that's up.
If I'm looking you up on iTunes, what am I looking up?
HACKnoCAP, no spaces.
If I'm looking you up on Spotify, what am I looking up?
HACKnoCAP, no spaces.
Okay, so it's the same thing. It's not like you got caught in having a name and then changing the name. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
the only issue I have with the name on Spotify and Apple Music is Apple Music just has a HACKnoCAP with the incorrect capitalization, but it doesn't matter. And then Spotify has the hack in all caps, the no in lowercase, and then the cap in uppercase. Which is
so if anyone's going to look for it, so honestly, if you ever listen to Sports Opinions podcast or a few of the podcasts on air, different ones, Joe's created some beats for all of them. If you listen to the playbook specifically, HACKnoCAP music has been their intros. Mm-hmm. So you'll get a little bit the older stuff, and he's not just straight up hip hop. He's a true artist. He's branching out into a little more alternative as well. So you'll really like his stuff, especially if you actually like artist music. If you like stupid, sheepish, dumbed down, I'm going to listen to it on the radio all day. Might not be for you because you have to actually think a little when you're listening to Joe's stuff because he tries to use his head. But
I try.
It's good stuff.
It's better to use it for music and not for football.
Yeah, his concussions, they're not good to you.
Yeah.
Has Romello ever apologized?
It was my fault. It was my fault, man. I was a freshman, and I already had my first concussion before that when Rajon drop kicked me off a trampoline. I was legitimately knocked out.
Oh my God! Should we give Raji a quick shout out for his rap?
Yeah, LA Meek. We actually are working together. Believe it or not.
I've heard. So LA Meek, and he's got. It's two completely different styles, so it'll be interesting to see you guys.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, I actually kind of, I stepped away from what I was doing, and I went like hardcore, like mainstream kind of voicey.
That'll be interesting. So
a little punky.
That would be very interesting. Mm-hmm. So we're all in agreement that anime themes are better than most American themes on anything.
Yeah, they seem to be better.
You have any favorites that you can kind of throw at people? If anyone's interested in listening to something they can't understand but really enjoy.
Oh my God. Okay, so my top 2 anime themes, okay? You got the My Hero Season 3, the first OP.
My Hero Academia, right?
Yeah.
Got to be specific sometimes.
Uh-huh. And that's Odd Future by Overworld. Is that
Overworld?
Yeah, Overworld. They're tough. Oh my God, that shit is so tough. And when it hits, I'm not going to explain it, but when it hits, just watch the theme on YouTube. You will flex. Like I sit there flexing when I see Deku and All Might look to the camera and it ends. Oh my God.
So all you have to do, if you're really going to search for any of these, we're going to tell you which anime they come from. And all you have to do, like Joe said, My Hero Academia, OP, Season 2, Season 3, Season 1. All you have to do is put that in, and there is tons of videos. You can't miss them. So just put it in that way. Joe, you have another one. What's your other one you like?
It gives me chills, bro. The second one is...
so goofy.
Bro, yeah. The second one is Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town. For JoJo Part 4, it's the first OP. And the reason I say this, it's so good because, like you said earlier, it has nothing to do with like the anime. But Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town was literally, I feel like it was made for Part 4. And that's what the first half of Part 4, it's just people in a town beating the crap out of each other for no reason.
Why are you going to spoiler alert?
No, it's not spoiler alert at all.
That's kind of JoJo. Yeah. Quite literally, they just all start fighting for no real good reason. Dio's just a jerk for no reason at all.
Dio is a tank.
That's a good way to put Dio.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dave, do you
He's
have
a road roller.
He's a road roller. Okay.
Do you have any you recommend just straight out the gate?
I'll give 2, I guess, as well, since Joe gave 2. He decided to.
All right.
So the first one is going to be from Overlord Season 3. Veracity, my Mythenroid. I showed Joe on the way.
That was so tough. They just go nuts the whole time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then The Promised Neverland. It's only one season out. It's Touch Off by Uberworld.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
That shit is tough. I'm sorry, that shit is tough.
Yeah, but those two are good.
I recently, David and Joe know, I played it twice today. Jam Project, Kageyama does all the music for Dragon Ball, but he got together with a bunch of other Japanese singers and a bunch of American rock guys, it looks like, in the video, and they made this thing called Jam Project, and they do all the music for One Punch Man. It is all tough and insane. It's fantastic. So I recommend the opening for season 1. That one is really good.
Also, you got to listen to the character themes too.
Yeah. Like character themes.
Zhorno's theme. You got
it's all over TikTok.
You got Kira's theme. Yeah. Everyone knows Zhorno.
So we can get a little bit into that, because unlike American things, there's, like you said, there's theme songs for certain characters. All the characters, main characters in anime get theme songs, but also image songs, which have quite literally that you sometimes hear them, but most of the time Japan is still very popular with having albums for their anime.
Yes.
And they have image songs which are meant to be specifically for characters but aren't in the shows. So it's really cool to explore things like that, because it's still a very popular thing to go get the One Punch Man season 1 album, or the Promised Neverland season 1, or Sword Art Online is massive. And I guarantee Kirito probably has some cool image song or somewhere there, but they're all like, it's something to look up. And I don't think Amazon Music or even iTunes has a ton of the Japanese stuff on there. You probably want to go to YouTube for that type of stuff. But yeah, overall, if you could tell, we are a bunch of nerds when it comes to the Japanese stuff, but 100%. It's getting a lot more popular. If Michael B. Jordan and Spencer Dinwiddie can rock it, so can we, damn it.
Exactly. Actually, the JoJo themes and OPs, they all just got put up with like a year ago.
Yeah.
Or less than a year. It was like maybe 4 months ago. It took them a while to get it on, I guess.
You gotta think, some of the OPs are just actual songs.
Yeah.
Like Roundabout by Yes is the first.
And there's so many good ones. A lot of the classic, the big anime classics, like even like One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, they all have fantastic opening songs for the most part. Yeah. I love Rurouni Kenshin. I think that has a great. Trigun is super good. Like, there's so many. Any good anime you could think of, and even some bad anime, have great theme songs.
Most people know Tank from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
they don't even know
God, Cowboy Bebop is
Tank.
Cowboy Bebop is possibly, it's a top 5 anime of all time. That's how good Cowboy Bebop is.
And it's one of the only animes that the dub is like significantly better than the sub.
It's significantly better, and it's very much an accepted Western anime.
Yes,
where it is is openly and expressly based off of Western culture. There's a few of them that are like that, and that's a specific one. And it is still to this day massive in Japan.
Yeah,
so that's one that Hollywood, if you're listening, you can make a good Cowboy Bebop live action movie, and it could possibly be one of the best selling movies ever. Just because
Hollywood, no, I'm gonna stop you right there, Hollywood. You don't gotta do that, because whenever Hollywood gets his hands into something, they got Goku working at a Quick Check, and then like, come on now.
Also, don't watch the Death Note Netflix. It is
it's not even Death Note.
Bad.
It's not even Death Note. I watched 30 seconds of it.
Yeah, the beginning just makes you not want to watch it.
It's so bad.
Even though I did see the Bleach live action, I don't think it was Netflix, but the Bleach live action is fantastic. I saw a little bit of it, and also the Gintama live action.
I'm skeptical with live action animes, and that's just because like some of the stuff you can't like. When you see it happen in real life, you're just like, this is like...
No, because I will say this. All they need to do for the fighting scenes, watch Man of Steel. The one thing that Man of Steel got right is quick fighting in air and super powered. And also the Bourne movies. The Bourne movies were super good. They were 2 super fast, super powered humans. And you couldn't see some of it, but it was amazing.
I'll tell you something as well. Kingsman... for cartoony fighting,
yes,
is fantastic.
Kingsman was, and again, it was a lot of quick, good fighting with a lot of over the top stuff. You can keep the comedy of anime when you do things like that. Kingsman's completely good with that.
And another live action, it's the part 4 live action. Did you ever see any of that?
Yeah.
I watched all the highlights on YouTube. The fight scenes were great, but they have a lot more leeway because stands. You could animate that, and the stands look really fresh, clean. Like they even got Jotoro's hat.
Joe, I don't know if you are a Persona fan, the game Persona, because I know you've probably seen David play Persona Arena and stuff.
I've seen actually Donkey play Persona.
So here's the question. Number one, do you think Persona ripped off of JoJo for stands? Because it's a very similar concept. And which do you prefer, the Personas or stands? Because they're similar.
But they're very different.
Okay.
In the way that and they're similar in the way that they're kind of a manifestation of your abilities and stuff like that.
They are you in a way.
Yeah. But just the way you get them and everything, it's very different. Technically Persona would have ripped off of JoJo and year-wise.
Yeah.
Because Rocky worked on this like 20 years ago.
Yeah, JoJo's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I think the original Persona came out a decade ago.
Just the idea of it, of having an ability outside of yourself, obviously is a very old thing to think about. But the Persona, it does more of a deep dive into your character.
Okay.
Like JoJo, it's the stand, like...
It's a given card. You get
there's a meme out there where it gets so ridiculous. It's like, I control the speed at which lobsters die. That could be a stand.
That's just what it is.
And I love how, as the more we're kind of ruining JoJo a little, but the more you read that part of JoJo, it's like there's a finite number of cards, but you don't know the number because we keep on adding them.
The thing is, part 4, you haven't gotten to part 4 yet.
No, I haven't.
Part 4, it's like stands are just out there. They get away from the cards.
You'll see it. No, it's beautiful though.
So it's awesome. Yeah.
So what we're getting at is read or watch JoJo. They're both good. And I have to say, JoJo is one of the anime that you can watch that stays pretty good to the manga. It's very difficult for animes.
It's literally right on top.
It's very difficult for animes to be close to it. I feel like Hunter x Hunter has done a good job of that. JoJo seems to be doing a good job of that, but it is difficult because, especially if it's an ongoing manga, like JoJo is leagues ahead of everything. Yeah. So it's easy to create the anime and keep it closer to source material. But there's some that are on top of it. But we're going to move on from anime because we could make a whole anime show.
You're right.
We're going to go on to the next topic. Joe is bad at golf. He played a year in high school. David played for the first time today and beat him. Joe, for the fans, what happened?
I think we got off to a slow start. I think the hardest part about today was I saved the bagel. I
save the bagel. You did.
I saved the bagel for the second hole, and I just so unmotivated the first hole, and that just put me in a funk. But even going back before that, I came here. We took a trip to New York. This is where Alex lives, and we forgot my golf shoes. So I had to use David's small shoes.
Golf shoes. I put that in the group clearly. I gave you guys a laundry list like a crazy wife to remember.
Dave came to pick me up.
I didn't come early.
And I was still in the shower.
Joe, when are you not in the shower?
Good point. But so I was rushing out, forgot I only have Uggs here. So I was in David's size. What are you? Size 9.5, maybe 10?
What? David's a 10.5. I'm a 10.
The Nikes are 10.5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they were a little small on me. A little sliding around a little bit. Wet, dewy grass. And I used to play in the morning. And it was 45 degrees. It was just a bad day. I couldn't hit the ball, especially past hole 5. I don't even know what I was doing.
He was hacked.
It was a complete mental.
He was HACKnoCAP. Get it? Mm-hmm. Listen to his rap music. Anyway. So David, how was your first time playing golf?
It was pretty good, actually. I felt like I was getting the hang of it. I felt like I was making progress while Joe was regressing.
You were getting
like Sam Darnold.
We'll get there. Stop. We're going to get there.
Well, it's going to be back to back. I lose my mind playing golf, and then I get to watch
We're
the Jets
going to get there.
The
so, David, the one thing way I could describe David is he went from the wacky inflatable arm man with the way he was swinging, and he tightened up a little bit. He got better. I suck at golf, so I'm not even going to talk about me. We're going to move on because Joe's depressed, and we're going to depress him a little more, not about the Jets yet, about how talking about Madden 2001 remake, I mean Madden 21. It's literally Madden 2001 with roster updates. They have not, I feel like they haven't improved the game.
It's not even Madden. It's not even Madden 2001. It's not.
I feel like I'm about to get
They
hit.
had franchise. They had defensive coordinators. They had offensive coordinators. Madden 21, you can't even look at your owner that you make. There's no character for that. And you have to pick a custom coach. You just pick a random face.
Does the ball finally spin the right way when it comes out of the quarterback's hand, though?
I don't even pay attention to that because everything else is wrong. I'll tell you how you fix Madden right now. I can tell you how you fix Madden.
Scrap it?
Well, yeah, you scrap it. You just focus on two things: franchise and gameplay. And here's how to fix the gameplay: you get rid of difficulties. Listen, all the best games ever created. You think your Mario's, your Knacks.
Well, I thought Madden had a cool thing going when they did adjusted difficulties. That was pretty cool for a little bit, but it was cool because if you could play and it would go with you. Like if you wanted to go to all Madden, you could. But all Madden's stupid because they have linebackers that could jump 23 feet in the air and make interceptions from a deep ball at the 5 yards away.
I don't play
super
Madden
linebacker.
I don't play competitively, because I feel like it's too arcadey, and when I play Madden, I want to beat Daniel Jones, and I want to have a close game or get blown out by Aaron Rodgers. There's no reason freaking Josh Rosen should come in and throw
19 for 19.
Yeah, go 19 for 19, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 13 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. Like, that's just not Josh Rosen. So, it's the realism, and the way you do that is you just get rid of the difficulties. Players play how they play. You made a football sim. You want to make an arcade game, then go present it as an arcade game, not a football sim.
So would it help because right now I hear the constant excuse is that the developers are just under pressure to pump out a game yearly, and it's difficult to really make true improvements on a game that technical every single year. Would it help if they went every other year?
I think it would help if they went every year and a half.
But if they went every other year and say they had Madden 21 right now, right? Mm-hmm. And and 22 came and all you do, it's give us $10 more for a roster update. We'll just update the names. We'll give you a roster update or whatever it is. What is it? $60? Give us 30. Whatever. Give us half
30 for it for another year.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
What's up?
But that's for 50.
That's not the.
But if they did the roster update in the middle of it, but gave them an extra year to really work on, okay, this time we're just going to get the tackle graphics better. This time we're going to make the linemen not look stiff. We're not going to make the same exact move. Like a spin move might actually work every once in a while for the user in Madden.
The spin move's disgusting.
It's better now?
You just do it 5 years early and they miss.
There you go. So that's how unrealistic, and that's always been a problem. Now, apparently, 2K Sports is bringing back football.
Yes,
they're coming back.
And arcade.
It has to be arcade. They're not allowed to make a simulation football game.
That's so stupid because when you look back at the graphics, someone on Instagram
I saw the video
that they showed a comparison from the current Madden 21 to the last 2K and just the realism.
It wasn't the graphics; it was the animation.
The animation,
the detail in the animation in the last 2K compared to Madden is leagues beyond.
The natural, I think they focused on the throwing motion of the quarterback. That was the main thing that I saw in the video. And it was just how supernatural it looked. The transition of weight from the back foot to the front foot, the 3-step, just how unrigid he is. We've seen it from 2K because for all the flaws that 2K basketball has with the glitchiness and everything, they are constantly getting better at creating more fluent movements in terms of, getting to the basket and a finger roll and specific types of finger rolls for different players. If you're Kyrie, you're going to have a different style finger roll than Kemba, even though they're two similar style players where they slash and everything. It's not just a one slasher identity. I don't know. I think EA just needs to clearly bring back NCAA and forget Madden exists.
I could agree with that. And I think they should also need to make, even 2K falls victim to this now. 2K, the basketball game, is the game's so reliant on animations. It just makes the game look choppy.
It's very boxy animations. That's the whole thing.
If you go back to Madden, what was it, 25, when they had the no two hits are the same, they were on kind of like the backbreaker engine.
Mm-hmm.
The hits looked fluid. Everything was really nice. That you didn't have sometimes when you throw a ball Madden 20, especially Madden 20, not so much Madden 21, it happens every now and then. Yeah. You could legit see by the animation of the receiver and the corner interaction that, that's a pick. And it's just because the game, I had him beat, it's just, he got the animation.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. The way I perceive it, now obviously I'm not a game dev. I could be completely wrong about how this is. But
not to cut you off, but it's not the game devs. A lot of the game devs are past Madden YouTubers. They want the best for it. It's the executives who are limiting them.
Yeah. I'm just saying just the way it looks is that the way I think of it, it's the animations, think of it as squares. And since they're all squares, they can't really overlap. So one of them's going to win, and eventually you just know exactly what's going to happen in animation. So instead of like a moldable circle that they're connecting and hitting into each other, they're all squares. They cannot hit. Yeah. They're very solid.
So back in the day,
that's what it is.
For PlayStation and everything, they used to use similar to what Mortal Kombat did, and what they still do is they use humans
to
mocap, and which is funny that I love that Mortal Kombat had a guy named Mocap, and he had mocap pieces all over him. But anyway, they used the mocap, and they were able to get more fluent looking stuff. Like obviously the graphics weren't up to snub then, but you got like better throwing motions. I feel like you had better competition when a receiver and a D-back went up. It looked better. Yeah, it was the same exact animation for every guy, but it looked better. Do you think that's something that maybe they should go back to, where they have an athletic 5'9" receiver trying to box out a 6'1" corner, and tell me that they don't have the time and the money to get not even players, just guys that are athletic and do that?
I've seen it. They do things like that. It's just it's just a year. It's a year by year thing. It's so constrained to what they can do in order to try to fix the game. Because you would think that they would do literally anything to franchise from Madden 20 to Madden 21. I don't think they did a single thing. I didn't buy it. They didn't do a single thing.
What I find ridiculous too is like a franchise. EA Sports in general is a mega company.
They didn't even update Washington's like logo or anything until the day after the game came out.
They're lazy, but. That's the thing. It's not even the developers are lazy, but it's bizarre to me is you're telling me that you can't pay Aaron Rodgers, not even pay him, just have these guys come in, put the mocaps on them real quick and say, do a 3-step, do a 5-step, do a 7-step rollout, and have all the main players. You can kind of, if you're not a main player, you kind of get the generic animation. Like, you've earned that much. You're in the league, but whatever. But if your main guys, like, you're telling me they can't get Larry Fitzgerald and just have him run his route tree with the mocap on full speed. Have him go through catching motions. And, like, they have and you don't have to do it right away. Once a guy becomes a star, bring him in. You don't have to do it every single year. And then you can use, because that animation shouldn't change. The guys aren't changing for the most part. And then that would make it, I feel like, so much better.
But here's the issue. And it goes back to what you suggested in the beginning. They have, like we say, there's a year in between Maddens. They're only working on the next Madden for what? 4 months?
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because they're updating the game constantly. They're adding new modes. They added Superstar KO, I think, a month.
So much of their team
a month before
But they could definitely have a different branch that works with the mocap and just brings players in, or goes to the facilities. You're telling me EA can't send guys out to the facilities and do this?
I legitimately just want franchise. Like, I want Greg Williams to be able to, I want defensive, offensive coordinators.
Which is bizarre that they don't have that anymore, because that was one of the fun things, and the salary cap and really dealing with it.
There's no reason to be an owner.
Yeah, what's the point if you can't actually hire and fire?
I get to put the prices on the French fries, and it doesn't matter because...
Yeah, they started to focus on so many stupid things. So we're watching the UFC Fight Night on David's phone as we
Khamzat Chimaev just won 3 fights in 66 days.
And it looks like he knocked the hell out. Jesus Christ. I'm
sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
He just knocked him out.
But this is where I think they have an advantage yet. They have a new generation of consoles coming out. And
you're going right into our topic. Let's go right into it. Xbox versus PS5. They have specs coming out. Do you have them in front of you yet? You were going to pull them up, but we can. So Joe is going into the new topic, which they do have the next gen coming out, which I'm mixed emotions. Yeah, as you're pulling up the specs, I kind of want to bring up my mixed emotions. We hear constantly about this next gen crap. Next gen has been around since PS2. You know, they really weren't saying next gen with PS2 and Xbox and all that. They started that with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Next gen.
Well, I mean, it kind of, sorry to cut you off, but it kind of moved from the term of like, instead of 8-bit, it's 16-bit, or instead of 16 is 32X. That was the next gen.
Yeah. But they're going to next gen, and it's like, my issue is things change with next gen, but it's not as extreme as they make it. It's like your RPGs, they can handle more, but they really don't look better.
I think this year's going to be a lot different.
Why? Because they look ridiculous?
No, because these consoles are PCs now.
No, they're not. They cannot compare to a PC still. I'm telling you right now, they do not have the power.
It's getting closer, Alex. It's getting super close.
I would love, I have some friends that are true PC gamers. I would love to have Alex Lynch come on here because I know Lynch is a PC gamer.
But let's say John or Hunter.
Hunter.
But you even look at the games that make PC like great, they're on Xbox and they're simple games like Fall Guys. You know, they're simple games, and these next gen consoles could just help you run have 100 100 players and it runs.
One of the advancements, though, of a PC is, number one, you're using the mouse and the keypad, so it's the keyboard, so it's easier to control. But it's also the reaction times are much quicker on PC, just because the graphic chips are so much better. The animation cards are so much stronger, and it's just a fact that the consoles cannot do that. But the way they are set up, they are never going to be able to have that quick reaction. It's just not possible. So while it's getting closer, it's never PC will always be a step ahead, and PC's constantly getting better too. It's not like they're just resting on their laurels.
But a lot of the issues there, when it comes to like reaction times, a lot of that has to do with the internet. Yeah. You know, you could have an amazing PC on crap internet, and you'll get beat out by a person on a PS1 because he just had a better internet. Like, you know.
Well, I mean, but a lot of PC gamers are connecting to the Ethernet too, and if you have Ethernet connection, you can have a 20 by 20 megabit, and as long as it's perfectly coming in, coming out, it's going to run smooth. The Ethernet cable is king. And that's, I think, the main difference.
I use the Ethernet cable, like, on my Xbox.
Well, you should. If you're serious about gaming, you should be Ethernet connected regardless. But, okay, so do you have... Because I saw a few things coming out there, and obviously you're fanboys on both sides. You're going to be like, oh, Xbox has all these. What does PlayStation have? PlayStation's like, we're the bosses still. So where does Nintendo... I mean, which one...
So Nintendo hasn't released any... They're sticking with the Switch. Like, that's what you do. Yeah, that's
I would too.
Yes. I think they're going to make a stronger Switch. That's all they're going to do is make an updated version of the Switch. And that's what they should do. You have a freaking monster lineup. You have Zelda.
I'm get the Mario 3D, 3D All-Stars. Like, I'm going to get that.
Yeah. You have Breath of the Wild 2 coming out, which is going to be ridiculous, you know. Ganondorf's coming back. It's a prequel to the first one.
And everyone is cross-licensing to Nintendo, too. It seems like everyone's just kind of like willing to allow, because... your Xbox, and not even Xbox really doesn't have a handheld, but Sony does handhelds, and that kind of sucks. But the Switch is a handheld console, which is awesome. That Game Boy was the best handheld, handheld mini console to begin with. Mm-hmm. They've just figured out a way over the years to turn a Game Boy into an actual full-powered console. And it's really cool. But we're off topic because Nintendo just does what Nintendo does. They do it well. They're going to make a Pokemon RPG, and it's going to be the best thing of all time. Because a Pokemon RPG that functions correctly, similar to Skyrim, where you can actually have battles and use the 4 buttons as the 4 attacks and run around and kill things, great. Anyway, amazing. Joe, Xbox, PlayStation 5, what you got?
Okay, so we're pinning them against each other, and what I see based off, and these are official specs released by both sides. Okay, it's the same console, just with like difference. The PS5 is going to be faster load times, and the Xbox One X is going to be more powerful. Like that's just what it comes down to. They're both $499. The PS5 is gigantic. I don't. You're gonna need 2 people to carry it into your house, like, and it's probably gonna be the loudest thing ever.
It's like getting solar panels installed. You have to you have to put a concrete slab down for your PS5.
You're gonna have to wait like 3 months to buy an Xbox because they're all gonna get like the red ring. Like, there's gonna be an issue because they just throw shit together and then they wait a couple months and then release another console. That's what Microsoft does. So,
well, the secret is for PlayStation, you just wait for the next one to come out because then it becomes half the size.
Yeah.
That is always the secret.
Always make a thinner one.
Here's the thing: what we do have to compare, because the Xbox Series X and the PS5, they're the same console. That is what I see. The Xbox has a stronger graphics card, maybe a little bit more memory. They both do 4K Blu-ray drive, but then they're each releasing consoles that are cheaper. So you have the PlayStation 5 from $499 to $399. You can buy this, and it's basically the same console. It's $100 cheaper, and the only thing you don't have is you don't have a little thing for the CDs.
It's all digital.
It's all digital.
What about space in terms of hard drive size and things like that? Does that lack?
It says TBA. So you got to assume that there might be a little less space on it, or there might be the same space. They just got rid of all the stuff that you need the disc for.
Okay.
And the Xbox Series S, it's not the Series X, is going to be the cheaper version of the Xbox, which is only $299.
Okay.
So it's super cheap, but it lacks power. I think it only goes 120 FPS, 1440p, 4K support, 521 gigabytes, smaller hard drive. So it's smaller.
But that's smart because that's going to sell to everyone. $2.99 sells to everyone. It might not be as strong, but as long as you can get online and play Call of Duty with your friends,
That's
as long as you
true.
can get online and
But
play Halo with your
the way
friends.
some of these games are coming out, like
You need
Call
it.
of Duty was over 100 gigs, right?
You need
Call of Duty was over 100
As long as
gigs.
the
not even the
space is
space.
okay.
No, but not even the space. Like you said, like with more powerful consoles comes more faster competition.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. Like I was playing Call of Duty on
But joke, you need you this new Halo we could play on the original Xbox. Like the graphics have not, the cutscenes are always beautiful in Halo. The story is always beautiful in Halo. The gameplay, Master Chief still looks 8-bit.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason why they pushed it back a year because the everyone complained about the graphics because what Halo Infinite's doing and it's unheard of. They have 8 different teams working on this, so they're
And not one of them could work on graphics.
no. The thing is, they're all working on different graphics, so it's like everyone's pointing the finger at each other. Well, that clipped out because of this guy. And
But are
so
they
then
going
you
to
gotta contact him?
Are they going to have advanced fish AI? And that's the real question here.
They're gonna have animals. It's open world. Like it's gonna be sick.
So they hired a few guys from Bethesda and said, please help. Because come on, like Bethesda,
No,
who does the open world better in Bethesda? Bethesda and Rockstar, the two best sandboxes.
Yeah, you forgot. What is it? Square Enix.
No, that's RPG. Though.
They do it in
specifically like a
still open world.
JRPG though.
Still
yeah,
open
but it's
world.
not. But difference between JRPG and
Speaking-
RPG. So
Speaking, you got Cyberpunk. That's going to be stupid.
Explain
CD
Cyberpunk.
Projekt Red. That's what I wasn't thinking of Square.
No,
I was thinking about
you're
CD Projekt Red.
Okay.
My
CD
fault.
Projekt very good.
And oh my god, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be the greatest game ever created. Mark my words.
also, I don't know if you guys saw, Oculus Rift is coming out with a new
Yes,
thing.
VR is so much.
VR, it's a new VR, and it's like supposed to be super advanced. I actually, one of our buddies, Wade and Destin, you know Wade, you remember Wade and Dave? He worked on the new Oculus.
Did
He's
he
a part
actually?
of that
That's awesome.
team that worked on the new Oculus.
That's
And
amazing.
honestly,
That's
these
incredible.
consoles are.
Hit him up.
I'm gonna have Wade in on Sports Opinions. So I want to
please.
find out how the Oculus can go into sports gaming.
Yeah, have a
If it
question
can,
to us, I'll talk to
it can
him.
go. He can come on whenever. Yeah, we'll have Wade in on him. Actually, we've been talking through text lately, but I'm curious because we might revisit this conversation because if Oculus gets perfected,
It's funny.
consoles are over.
Well, the thing is, here's the issue I have with the Oculus Rift. My friend Brett Dean, he has one, and it's so much fun. You go in there, and if you play,
I loved it. I loved it. I played it for like 20 minutes.
If you play for a half hour, you come out and you're dizzy because you're like, "Holy shit, is this real life?"
Dude.
It's like you legitimately go to another world. But the issue I have with it is there's no reason I should pay total almost $2,000 to get a little janky gameplay. You know, like it's just very expensive.
Well,
to get
that's what I'm
into.
saying. If this new version, because we've seen the movies, we've
But it
seen
doesn't
things
matter
like
how good it is,
we've
you
seen
gotta
like
get into
surrogates. We've seen Ready Player One. Have you guys seen Ready
Yeah,
Player
yeah,
One?
yeah.
If something like Ready Player One, if the Oculus becomes something like that,
That'd be tough.
So I will say,
like,
one
will
of the
we
most
ever play a
amazing-
console really again? If we can play, if you can quite literally be in Halo or Call of Duty, and all you have to do is wear some suit, a little suit, and it's come on, that would change it. That would change everything.
No, yeah, we would change everything. But the issue is, the consoles are just going to pay for them to, release it through my system.
Yeah.
Release it through my system.
Well, listen, that's
Well, we're
fine.
already seeing though the consoles kind of coming together.
Yeah, Xbox.
So
yeah,
they're already
Xbox.
really participating with each other. They just
Well,
wanna
I
make
feel like
things
that
great.
was more pressure on the fans though, because the fans kind of sat there and were like, "Why do I have to choose between systems to play the same damn game against my friends?" Like that shouldn't just because I've never bought an Xbox. Yeah, I'm faithful to PlayStation, but why can't Call of Duty's the same game on both of them? Why can't we be like, So I feel like that was more fan pressure than anything. But David, I agree with you. I feel like Oculus, they'd be smart to just sell it to those guys.
And
in the end.
also, and one thing I just wanted to say about VR is that when the Wii came out, there's a little marketing about, oh, you can exercise and play a video game at the same time. With the VR, I played Beat Saber
That's
for a good amount of
legitimate.
time. You legitimately sweat. You are legitimately moving in VR.
The one thing I think
can actually
they
sell this as exercise along with video games.
I
They
feel
could
like
do
if
it.
they can make, because I know they have the little pads on the ground, and that's where it gets to be like $1,000. When you get the,
But that makes it good.
It does make it good. Nick, that makes it worth it. If you're going to get the Oculus, but you're not going to get the little roamer pad on the ground, that's useless because you can't really move. You're going to run into shit. But if you get that, they do have to find a better way to make it, I think, safe. Because even running, I know I'm fast. Like, I'm probably faster than the average human being. I ran track in college. I was a sprinter and everything. Guys that run track that are legitimately fast, I don't care. You got to make that thing amazing in order to catch up to, like, Usain Bolt wants to freaking play that. He's going to run right off in 2 steps. Like, it's not going to keep up with him. So they need to figure out ways to make it safe in that way. I don't know if it's like putting maybe like rails around as you play.
What they do is they have like a small box area that you're able to move in, and the character will move in the game. But for the most part, on the Rift, on the controllers, there's one in each hand that control the movements. They have Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
and so you move around. It's just like playing Xbox or PlayStation.
Okay.
Now, what I have seen, something similar to what you're talking about, actually moving your whole body in that sense, is I've seen it. It was just at like an expo, but it was like this big like structure, and it had like a low railing around you, and you're attached to it.
And
on your hips and stuff?
And it's a treadmill. And it's
that would be so
hips,
cool.
And you literally move. You're literally running to move your character.
I feel like I'd be good at Dance Dance Revolution on that.
I hate you.
Could you imagine actually being in like the nightclub and like going against Travolta? Like, you ain't got hips like me, bitch. I don't know.
I can't believe you.
I don't know. It was an aggressive. It was an aggressive theory.
I
Okay, so here's a question that I want to know. So we kind of talked.
Do you want another question, or do you want to answer this?
Shut your mouth. We obviously see like PlayStation, Xbox are very similar, and they've only gotten closer. Where there was gaps at one point between the two systems.
Yeah.
Xbox was definitely more, and I don't want to offend anyone with Xbox fans. It was a kid-friendly system, meant more for everyone. PlayStation, you know, maybe it was a lack of control, but I think it was a little more sophisticated of a system. They had different types of games too, where Xbox, I think, had funner games. Obviously, they had games that were more for everyone, where PlayStation had your Metal Gear Solids. They had a lot of your...
I would say that would be around more to PS3 time.
Yeah, but it was definitely... And they've gotten, like you said, exactly, PlayStation 4, they've gotten a little bit closer and closer, and now we're seeing almost a merger at this point.
Not at all. I think they've gotten farther. And the reason is because, and it has to do with exclusives, man. Like,
that is true.
You look at when the Xbox 360 and the PS3 were going at it head to head. You had Halo, boom, Metal Gear Solid, boom. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. I have Just Cause or whatever. Well, what is it? Tomb Raider? No, not Tomb Raider. Uncharted. Naughty Dog just drops Uncharted.
Okay. I'm sorry. Xbox
Then,
still doesn't have a game better than Uncharted. That whole series, they don't have a game better in it. They don't.
There's the game that's better than it's on both consoles, and that's Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but that then again, it's this cross console. It doesn't count. Yeah. But okay, so
it's just gotten farther. PS4
exclusives,
so much better exclusives.
Oh, God of War. Spider-Man.
And where Xbox,
the fact that they got Spider-Man is stupid.
Xbox can't even have Spider-Man in the Marvel game, the Marvel Avengers game, because of that,
is crazy,
which is ridiculous, and that might sell a couple people. Like, I don't know if I'll get the Marvel game. I don't like story-driven kind of,
everyone has their own preference.
But where was I going?
Who knows?
You said they were getting farther.
No, they were getting farther. And where Xbox kind of bridged that gap is they've gotten a lot of like you said, the kid-friendly kind of third party. They've taken them on, so you get your Gang Beasts on Xbox. You get your Steam games on Xbox.
Well,
and stuff like
Halo, honestly, Halo, and there's a massive Halo conglomerate from the original Xbox.
That's the
and
thing
Halo will keep Xbox faithful, even if they do now like the PlayStation more for exclusives. They'll buy an Xbox too. You'll get a lot more people. David, you end up buying both consoles a lot of the times, don't you?
I'm going PS.
You're going PS.
I think I'm going to start.
Okay.
It's going to depend.
It's more affordable now than ever to buy both.
Yeah.
Even if you get like the powerful PlayStation, a little bit cheaper Xbox, or vice versa, because the cheaper PlayStation seems like it's kind of the same thing, just with digital.
I was going to get the cheaper Xbox and maybe get the full price PlayStation. I don't know. I got to figure it out.
So my question in the end was, everything with the specs you hear, everything with the exclusives, you kind of answered this. If you were already an Xbox person or a PlayStation person, would anything you hear about the other side change your view on your console, quote unquote?
I mean, given that, I think, especially as next gen, the main selling point with next gen, why are you going to buy next gen, is because cross play is going to be like, that's going to be the thing. Like, that's going to be the selling point. Like, EA is going to get in on it. But I don't really see anything that makes me, if I was a PlayStation 5 guy and I was a diehard PlayStation 5 guy, I don't see anything that would make me want to flip-flop from the Xbox, except for, maybe a more powerful system if you like more like PC kind of games. Like that's what Xbox is going to thrive in. The PC, it's basically I think Microsoft, like Donkey said in one of his videos, is going to.
You love Donkey.
Yeah, there's not going to be an Xbox after the Series X. They're just going to make software from there on. So
it's not. They're kind of going to go the way of what Sega's been doing.
Yeah,
similar to that.
So if I'm a PS5 guy or PS4 guy, I don't really see anything that makes me want to flip flop. But and if I'm an Xbox One guy, you've been living without your God of Wars. You've been living without Spider-Man. I don't see anything that really makes me want to flip-flop. I mean, these are the same consoles. They're coming out the same consoles. It's just whether or not we're going to be able to play with our friends. Like, that's the big thing.
Dave, anything?
I completely agree with you. I don't really see like almost any reason to flip-flop at all, for the most part. But one thing I do have to say, we brought up Nintendo. There's always room to get a Switch.
Everyone
always has room to get a Switch.
You get a Switch Mini, it's $200.
Also,
and that's why I love Nintendo.
And here's another question. So what are the big two going to bite off Nintendo? Nintendo does this. They come out before everyone with a kind of next gen of their own. And then PlayStation and Xbox go, that's really cool. How are we going to copy some of that? Because with the Wii, when the Wii first came out, revolutionary. PlayStation tried to copy it. Xbox tried to copy it. Failed miserably both times. The Kinect lasted longer than the stupid wand that PlayStation had. And then with the Switch, PlayStation tried the PS Vita and the PSP and Vita, but I'm just saying that whole entire handheld.
That was on the DS time.
But I'm just saying, like, PlayStation constantly has tried. Xbox is smart. They're like, screw that. Nintendo's king. We're just gonna focus on consoles. Forget about handhelds. PlayStation has tried, and I think that they've done better graphics wise up until the Switch came out.
The whole argument that we've been basically started this question off as we talked about the specs between Xbox and PlayStation. We don't need to talk about the specs about the Nintendo Switch. We know it's not that good. No. We know it's good enough to run the games that it has, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Reggie said it himself before he left, and I'm pretty sure Doug Bowser agrees with him. It's all about fun when you're playing video games. The graphics, believe me, it's amazing. I love the way these things look. I love the way these things feel.
It's your favorite characters that you've known forever are still there.
But they're not in bad games. They're in fantastic games. Like Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, both games of the year, both possibly games of like the decade. Like that's the whole thing. So Sega's been rumored to possibly be coming back out with their own console. I've seen a few things about that. But can they reclaim Sonic now? Nintendo has it. Can they come out with a badass Sonic game?
Well, will they come out with a badass Sonic game?
Sonic Unleashed.
I just don't think they will.
The crazy part was that last fun game Sonic I found, I think, was Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Mania is ridiculously good.
Is it good? But I didn't play it. But Sonic Unleashed was fun for the preference that the speed of Sonic was insane. But when he went into Beast Mode, he was terrible. It was stupid. So and was Sonic Mania all about speed? Like, what was that?
It was like an original Sonic.
So that's if Genesis comes out, not Genesis, Sega comes out with a comparable console to both of those, makes Sonic their main guy again.
I don't think it's going to work.
Not at all.
I just don't think it's going to work.
The appeal's not there anymore. Yeah. Like, Sonic was huge when we were all doing 2D games and like going left to right on the screen.
So you don't think they could tap into guys my age with nostalgia to go and just grab a new one and sit down? Because I have families that don't have time to do this anyway.
You don't have time.
Oh, I don't play either of those systems. I'm probably not gonna buy an Xbox for the first time in my life. I'm not gonna buy the next gen. I have bought PlayStation 2. I got as a gift. I bought a PS3. Bought a PS4. I have the PS4 still. I don't think I'm gonna get a PS5. And this is the first time in decades. Not even. I'm probably not going to get it. My PlayStation 4 collects dust. Skyrim was the last real game that I dedicated to. My wife, Julie, got me Red Dead, the new one. And I haven't gotten past the first chapter.
So good, man.
Like, it's a great game, but I just don't have the time. I do the podcast. I have a family. I'm the new house. Like, when am I going to sit there and play a video game?
She should have gotten Detroit Become Human so she could watch you play again.
I mean, she said the next Elder Scrolls, the next good one that comes out, not crappy one, but because Elder Scrolls Online is not good.
I mean, she loved Heavy Rain. She would have loved Detroit Become Human.
Maybe listen. It's still
a story based just like it.
There's still time to get that.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're gonna jump into.
Wait, can we just say
let's finish up.
If you are an Xbox dog,
dog.
I think that the thing that keeps you out of Xbox, and this is the thing that's keeping me. Yeah, Donald Cerrone's getting ready to fight. The thing that keeps you coming back to Xbox is the Game Pass Ultimate is literally the best deal in all of gaming. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, PS4 is trying to copy it kind of, but they just
PS Now is fun.
Yeah, it's good, but it doesn't compare to Xbox Ultimate. Like, you pay $60 a year.
Yeah.
And you get over I think it's close to 500, especially if you get the Ultimate Plus on PC. You get close to 500 games for free.
That's
and
really
EA's joining it. Yeah. So you're going to get all your sports games literally and if you play 2 of them, you already made your money's worth. You doubled your money's worth.
I guess last question before we move on here. Oh, Jesus. The fight's looks like it's almost done already.
Going crazy.
But
he's getting beat up.
Last question before we move on to Joe getting angry again. Will the change in the controller from PlayStation to being more like an Xbox controller, more comfortable? Because one of the biggest complaints from Xbox fans is
the controller.
PlayStation controller is terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I've gotten used to it. I grew up using it.
Yeah,
so for me, I have no problem with it. But if you were an Xbox fan, is the change in the controller possibly going to sway some Xbox people there? Because it really does look a lot like a PlayStation. It looks like an Xbox controller now.
No, not really. I think you're still going to have, like, I grew up with both. So I had PlayStation 2. I started my first game ever.
I described it as, PlayStation, the controllers just had sex and that's what came out.
I don't, because the issue that Xbox players have with, and I know this because I'm an Xbox player and I prefer the Xbox controller over the PlayStation, and even you as a PlayStation person, I think you would prefer the Xbox controller.
Oh, the Xbox controller is...
Honestly, generally, I don't really care, as long as I'm playing.
It's the second most comfortable controller ever. The GameCube controller is by far the most comfortable controller of all time, and then Xbox is next.
The GameCube is so stupid, too.
The GameCube is the best console of all time, and I don't care what anybody says. It is the best console ever to exist. It's just the most underrated console, but it's the best. It is.
I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I'm not going down this rabbit hole. So with the issue with the PlayStation 5 is that the thumbsticks, they're low, and my thumbs sometimes hit each other. Like, I got used to, like, I grew up with it, so, like, I know how to adjust it. It doesn't bother me. But a lot of Xboxers only played Xbox. It just feels uncomfortable, feels unnatural. It's very
I feel like PlayStation had to do that because they couldn't change that now. Mm-hmm. That's always been their thing. They couldn't.
You can just copy it.
I feel like it's copywritten at this point, so they can't. Mm-hmm. I feel like they can't. I'd have to have something extra that would make it odd for all the players. Like, no one would adjust. Okay, so we're going to jump in. So I think it's a stalemate. People are kind of going to stay where they are. Just buy both consoles since they're cheaper now than they ever have been. You could just buy both powerful ones outright and probably be a little bit like $200 more than buying one in the last generation. So that's fun. Joe, you ready to cry?
JETS, I'm gonna die.
Just end the season, baby.
Just endure this stuff.
So we were all excited for some reason last week. We thought that the Jets were gonna put up a fight against a good Bills team. We can acknowledge that is they're probably, unless Cam Newton returns to Cam Newton, the Bills are going to run away with the division. And if he does, the Bills and the Pats are going to fight for the division. I think that's pretty...
I still think the Bills take it.
I think they could take it. But if Cam Newton's Cam Newton, then if he's MVP Cam Newton, then the Pats are going to be there. They're going to be a 10-6 team. The Bills are 10-6, 11-5. I think they're right around both of those.
Did he have Steve Smith when he was MVP?
Yes. Yes, he did. And he had Stewart and running back for him too. Jonathan Stewart and the other guy. They were the two-headed monsters.
Mike Tolbert.
No.
That was the fullback.
Williams.
D'Angelo Williams.
D'Angelo Williams. They were
Greg Wilson. Greg Olson.
Two guys that are 1,000-yard backs in the same season. They had 2,000 yards rushing along with Cam at one point. It's insane. Anyway, so we're all in agreement that the Bills are a good football team. Josh Allen shouldn't run as much as he does. I'm of the theory, and I've always been of this theory. I love running quarterbacks, but the moment they cross the line, defenders should leave their feet and make them pay for crossing the line. Unless they're going out of bounds, obviously. But if you want to run and you want to run straight up like Josh Allen does, make them think about crossing the line again.
Make them fumble twice.
No, because those are pansy-ass hits on him. Hit the man. I don't know why people are afraid to actually hit quarterbacks. Take that flag if he's across the line. Make him think twice. Anyway. It's a good football team. I don't think any of us expected, maybe we expected a tough, gritty win if we were going to sneak one out, but I don't think any of us expected to really come and outright beat that team up. But I did think we thought we were going to see, my theory on it last week was the Jets offense was going to move it well from 20-20, and the Bills defense was going to really tighten up in the red zone, and it was going to be a tough go there. That's really what I thought. What we saw was screens on 3rd and forever. Every single time we were on 3rd and forever.
Hey, give Adam Gase a little credit. He ran a draw play here and there.
Can we have Brian Schottenheimer back yet? We all were so mad at Schotty. Towards the end of Brian Schott, and all he's doing right now is being the best offensive coordinator in the NFL.
See, the thing was, it was kind of to the point where, if we had just gotten the first down in the first 3 drives, I think we would have been happy. But we didn't do that. It was 3 and outs.
If we would have just stopped trying to do 5-step drops with a patchwork line and maybe went to a quick 3-step and got Sam in rhythm.
I don't know.
The thing is, and I think I've been one of the rare people that has kind of defended Adam Gase to the point where when Tannehill was healthy for the 1 year and they had somewhat health in the Dolphins, they easily finished second in the division. Yeah. Tannehill had the best statistical year of his career, and that was a competent football team offensively. Defensively, the Dolphins kind of struggled. They had some good players, but never actually put it together. Yeah. But they were decent. Gase has had an awful, awful, awful luck of health on all of the football teams he's head coached, which are the 2, but he's had a terrible go of it in terms of that. So I've given him benefit of the doubt because we talked about this on Cuesta Dos a bunch last year, David. Scripting the first 15 plays of the half and the game, he's been unbelievable. Mm-hmm. This is the worst first 15 scripted plays I've ever seen him do.
100%.
He didn't have a game plan.
Well, the issue is, I think a lot of it has to come from, Sam Darnold missed three throws. Like you can't knock him for the first 15 when he had 3 plays written in a row. People were open. Sam just missed them.
Yes,
that's right.
And it's going to happen. You're going to have games like that. Man.
But okay. But another one of my issues is we've seen now Le'Veon Bell's out for 3 weeks with the hamstring injury, which I'm not, Gase said he regretted putting him back in. You put your best offensive player back in if he says he's ready to go, period. I don't think you take him out. He's the best offensive player. You put him in. But that's neither here nor there. We've seen Le'Veon Bell is best on the Jets right now and he's catching. So why aren't, number one, you getting a play with Le'Veon Bell running a route first to get him going? And number 2, just why aren't you running some easier plays for Sam or telling Chris Herndon and Ryan Griffin? Every other tight end in the NFL was told to play, stand in front of a guy, I'm going to throw it at your chest, be big. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Did we see that once last week with him expecting Griffin, who's a massive human being, and Herndon, who's a very good receiver and a big body, go stand in front of a linebacker that can't cover you anywhere, get in front of that safety and man, turn around, box him out, and Sam's going to put it the opposite of where he is, catch the damn ball, and get 7 yards and make it second and manageable, third and manageable. Where is that? That just seems like that's high school stuff.
I think it's very interesting what David put in. We have a group chat with a bunch of our friends.
Yep.
And David put a pass chart of Sam Darnold. There's the Sam Darnold pass chart, and all the completions, and not all of them, but majority of all the attempted throws were outside of the lines of the numbers.
I've said this the whole time.
You look, we only had 3 passes inside the numbers, like 3, and they, ironically, I wonder why, they were all completed. You're making Sam Darnold make the out route. Like Matt, I joke about it because Madden in the face of the franchise, like it's the hardest ball to throw. It really is the hardest ball to throw
absolutely.
Because it's you either catch it, but you only get a yard or 2 afterwards because you're running towards the sideline, or it's pick 6.
Yep.
And it reflected of Sam's play. Like
a big issue with that chart for me too is it doesn't reflect the way Sam was throwing them. He was going on 5 steps with the patchwork and then having to scramble instead of and part of it's because we never got the run game established, so there was no play action involved. But we saw the difference, big difference. Josh Allen had a lot of design boots where he was making throws on the run where he split half the field. Mm-hmm. We didn't see as much. Josh Allen obviously dropped back. He's in his 3rd year. He can read the field a lot better. But there was less straight dropbacks for Josh Allen and a lot more rolls out. And Sam's very good on the roll as well, unless he's going cross-body like a moron. Mm-hmm. But he is very good on the roll. And we didn't see a lot of the rollout plays for Sam Darnold that Gase did run the last 8 games of last year.
It was just really weird. And I mean, this is why I've been saying I'm really hoping we come out and do a lot better against San Fran. You guys, honestly, for Adam Gase and for Sam Darnold, you really have to win this game. I'm sorry to say this, but you really have to win this game.
Or if you lose in a heartbreak.
No. I agree with my...
No one... the Jets fans,
I agree.
Most Jets fans are not going to take the losing a heartbreak thing anymore.
I'm done with that.
They're not going to do it.
And not for nothing, the stars are freaking aligning. George Kittle out. Debo Samuel,
Yeah,
out.
there's a ton
Richard
of
Sherman, out.
Injuries are not an excuse
D4,
for us right
out.
now. They're
And
not an excuse.
Garoppolo is not a quarterback that should beat you. He's a good talent. He's a good game manager.
Yeah.
We've seen, though, he's not the quarterback that should beat you. And
He's not going to drop back and throw it 50 times.
And one thing we did see, if you're Greg Williams, you're licking your chops because the Jets, outside of Allen running around, they stuffed the run. And what's the strength of the Niners? The run. And they're going to beat up on that front seven. They're going to. That's what the Niners do.
Yeah.
Mostert, Coleman. They're tough guys.
But our D-line is incredible.
If you hold them to
Our
100
tackles are incredible.
If you hold the Niners to 100 yards on the ground, that's a great game.
Yeah.
You know, they average $150 with a few touchdowns. You hold them to 100, you make Garoppolo have to throw the ball 30 times, you're in good shape. But can Sam Darnold, can the Jets help that defense?
That's the question. You want to at least give him some time on the bench to get some air.
And I mean, it helps if you don't have half your team on the IR. Like,
Yeah, no.
And this makes me think, you know, you look at Gase and you're like, oh, he's could be such a great coach. He's an offensive guru, but everyone's hurt all the time now. Is it COVID? People didn't get the workouts. They didn't think they were playing. That's why you're seeing a lot of pulled hammies, you know, stuff like that. Or is Gase running practice too hard because you saw the injuries pile up in Miami and you saw it pile up here?
I think that's Gase isn't.
There's a weird pattern.
There is a pattern, but Gase is definitely more of an old school style quarterback. You could see just in the way he talks. Not quarterback, coach. You can see just in the way he talks. It's the pansiness of the all. If that's the case, then the modern player is soft as always.
Then you really just don't have the
because
guys.
we see a lot of the non-contacts have gone up because what are guys demanding not to go full speed, and then. What do you do? The preseason game's a cakewalk. We've seen these injuries in the first 4 weeks, the last few years since the CBA has been different.
ACLs
because all of a sudden, guys are thinking, we can go from 0 to 100. And then when that happens, you can't do it. And guys are getting injured. And it's not just the skill players, the bigums, your offensive linemen who are physical all the time that need that physicality aren't doing it at practice. And then they're doing it in the game full speed. And you can't simulate that in a half speed, no pads, no lowers practice. You know, it was always acceptable the quarterback doesn't get hit. Since when don't the skill players get taken down in practice? We watch full pad practices on Instagram all the time and stuff. They are touch tackling. No one's getting popped.
And you can see it in our tackling, by the way, which
besides Blashawn Austin and Marcus May,
which was my main gripe with the team. And I had a lot of things to pick from. But we had so many sacks on Josh Allen, we just couldn't tackle the guy. Whether we were getting too antsy, we made him look like Lamar Jackson. Look, he's athletic. I call him a poor man's Cam Newton. But he's not the guy who's going to shake you out of your boots. And we're missing tackles.
But the thing is, too, I saw Marcus May make the adjustment. He missed one big sack, but then he started to break down. And yes, Josh Allen's big, but he's not Big Ben. Big Ben, you break that. If you don't go full speed at Big Ben, he's going to shrug you. He's just a big, strong dude. You need to get on his neck and hopefully Little Giants him down. But I agree with you, Joe. The only two guys that were really making consistent tackles were Blashawn Austin and Marcus May, and also Phillips. He's a backup. Kyle Phillips. He's a backup D lineman.
Last year, he was a D tackle.
He's a big, strong dude. He's a big, strong dude, and he was a guy. If he gets his paw on you, he wraps you up. I like him. But Dave, it sounds like you were trying to get a point before. I
was just going to say, between all this negativity, which there's a ton of it to have, I will say one thing which I very much enjoyed seeing that gave some light is that our first-round pick, Mekhi Becton, had a very good debut.
The number 11...
He had a great debut.
Number 11 tackle rated in the game, all 16 games last week by Pro Football Focus.
He had a great debut.
That was great.
The offensive line was the problem.
It really... in the beginning
run blocking here and there is pretty atrocious. But Sam had time, man. He missed throws.
He did miss throws.
The thing is, if you look at our running... where we gained the yards, you ran behind Mekhi Becton, you got yards.
Yeah.
The kid is good.
The one guy that struggled, which I expect him to get better, McGovern was getting pushed back in Sam's face a lot in that pocket, and he had to sidestep a lot, which a good quarterback needs to do anyway. But one thing Gase did adjust is he started helping McGovern out when he could. Alex Lewis was was at least posting up on the guy that McGovern's a talented guy. I think he just needed to adjust as well. And the Bills are really good.
The Bills front seven is stupid.
But the Bills were also, to defend Sam, and this is a knock on the line, the Bills were sending 4 all day, and that pocket was getting crunched quickly. So Mekhi Becton held his own. Everyone else needs to step it up. Van Roten, Lewis, McGovern, Font, all need to step it up because you saw it. He settled down. He was antsy. He did settle down. He started to move better in the pocket. But also, was that the fact that the Bills were up 21 and they were taking a break?
A scary thing that I saw, and this has to do with the progression of Sam Darnold. Listen, I'm never going to lose faith in my quarterback. I love Sam Darnold. I think he could be a top quarterback in the league, given his. According
to Madden 20 and Robert Planter, he's an MVP.
Yeah, no, and I think he could be, but the issue is there was one play where he might have had an overthrow in the end zone or one of his picks, and it might have happened last year. Actually, I think I was watching film and I saw him. Yeah, it was in the Patriots game.
Yeah,
you remember when he threw seeing ghosts, all that, and I was watching that again, and I wanted to hurt myself, and I saw him in the one pick he had in the end zone where it was kind of one-on-one coverage, bad throw. I saw him throw the ball and wince. He had no trust in the line, no faith in the line. And if you get a quarterback consistently getting used to not having faith in the line, those are the types of throws that are going to happen, and those are the picks that are going to happen consistently. So when you start wincing and you're not getting hit and you're rushing throws, that is why regression happens.
The one thing I have to say about Mark Sanchez, he never got that. He had bad games. Mm-hmm. He had games where he couldn't throw for shit. He got hit a lot.
Yeah.
He got hit a ton. But
he got hit by a butt.
But he really kept getting back up, and he had faith and trust in that line. And the Jets, I will say, the bottom line, Mark Sanchez would still be the quarterback of the Jets today if the front office didn't go, oh, you really like your wide receivers? Goodbye, Braylon. Oh, you really like your wide receivers? Goodbye, Jericho. You like your tight end? Goodbye. We're only going to keep Santonio Holmes there, who was the least dedicated to that group.
I will also say this though: Mark Sanchez had a very good run game behind him.
Of course, but he was a young quarterback that needed that.
Two-headed dragon with
what run game do we have?
LT and Sean Green.
I'm just saying,
the
though,
running backs are good on our team, but what run game do we have?
If we look back,
that comes down to coaching and or the offensive
I'm just saying, looking back at Sanchez, where he didn't have half the arm talent that Sam Darnold has. Yeah. His confidence was otherworldly because he did have a better line, but he did get hit a lot.
It's hard not to trust Nick Mangold to progress.
Agreed, but he did get. But you know what, though? You just got Mekhi back. Then McGovern is a actual football player. Van Roten is a very competent guy. Maybe Font is a little iffy because he's been a career backup starting forever. Alex Lewis showed in front of you last year, Sam, he can protect you. Yeah. So where is your not faith if you're Sam Darnold? Mm-hmm. A pocket's going to close against a really good team. You have to expect that. Mm-hmm. And again, he did calm down later and was making better throws. But you can't. Sam said, he goes, I think I get a little antsy in the beginning of games. That's not acceptable. You're not a franchise quarterback then. You cannot come into a game and be antsy. You need to be the guiding and calming force. Yeah. You can't be that way.
And you know, that's another thing. You saw the Bills when the game started. This is all part of the game plan. Game started, they went cover zero.
Yep.
Cover zero completely. It wasn't four people rushing.
Yeah. Nope.
It was cover zero. They went right at us. So why in the hell were we not establishing some type of quick game?
Because Gase doesn't have confidence in Perriman, Crowder, and Hogan to get released.
You're going to have to
But this is also to my point. Simple. Where is the quick pass to Herndon? Where is Lev outside the numbers running underneath against a linebacker?
Not only do you not get hit as much that way, but you're also getting in rhythm if you're completing passes.
Yep.
Yeah, you get a confidence in the QB early in the game. And going back to what you said, I think I get antsy in the middle of games. What are you going to do when you're playing on the biggest stage in the NFL? Yeah. What are you going to do? When Patrick Mahomes was down 14, 17 points, he didn't falter. Yeah. And he didn't come out antsy or anything.
And again, you look at, and I compare, the only thing we can compare Sanchez to is number one, Josh Allen and Lamar, who are right now ahead of him. Mm-hmm. Two guys picked behind him are ahead of him. Mm-hmm. And number two, the past quarterbacks that we've had, two starters.
And Baker Mayfield.
Geno Smith. Baker, yes. Baker, yes and no, because Baker wasn't supposed to be in their class. He was not supposed to be with Josh Allen, and Lamar had the physical attributes. Baker was always a question mark in terms of his talent translating to the NFL. Mm-hmm. The other three kind of weren't. Josh Allen's questions were not his arm, his accuracy. But
yeah, and still he struggles with it.
Still, but I compare him to Geno Smith and Mark Sanchez. And when the going got tough and Mark Sanchez needed to win a football game, there was no guy that I didn't think in 2 minutes was going to win it. Because if we were close, how many 2-minute drills did Mark Sanchez run perfectly?
Oh, he did.
And
He really
against
did.
the Steelers, in the
Remember the Lions game?
the one AFC Championship game we lost when the Steelers were kicking our ass in the first half, Mark Sanchez almost won the game on his own without the run game.
Yep.
And then Geno Smith was another one. Geno Smith, there were times where he just was poised and he looked great. Geno Smith, the two issues with those two guys is they couldn't feel a pass rush.
Yeah.
They couldn't feel a pass rush and they fumbled constantly. That's a problem. Sam at least feels it better, but he just needs to not get rattled. Those two guys really didn't get rattled. Geno Smith couldn't feel a pass rush and Geno Smith just wasn't very good. Mark Sanchez couldn't feel a pass rush and didn't have a strong arm. And everyone got picked away from him. Sam Darnold has more talent than both of those two guys combined, but if he gets rattled, he's useless.
Yeah.
If you can't start a game off strong, you're useless in the NFL. So, any other final things on the Jets? Because we should move on because we have a long podcast, guys.
Podcast, dude. Well, it's a comeback.
We're missing the main fight.
It's a comeback.
So,
I think Cerrone lost, but
he's wearing his cowboy hat, and that's cool. Anyway,
he always does.
Dave, I'll let you go because Joe will get the final word on the Jets.
Overall, very poor showing week one. No one's going to defend that showing. They came out lackluster. Gase looks like he didn't prepare the team at all.
Greg Williams didn't look very good either on the defensive end. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He, for the first time in his Jets tenure, his defense didn't look prepared besides not fired up to play for Greg Williams, which is a surprise, besides May, who was ready to prove that he can fill Adam's shoes, which he looked good, and Bless Austin, which was ready to prove that he's a number one corner because Desir, I don't know what happened with him.
Did his best Tremaine Johnson impression.
And McDougal didn't exist, and I expected to see more from McDougal, who's a guy that's averaged 75 tackles a game in his career.
He's just been in the system for a week and a half, so.
You're a professional veteran of set 8 years. You get in the system and you play.
But overall, very poor showing.
Prediction for this Sunday, tomorrow. Today's Saturday. We're recording tomorrow.
I think we're going to lose, but we need a win. We need a win. 100% we need a win. If you're coming out there tomorrow, Adam Gase and Sam Darnold, you are not throwing screens.
Do you?
Unless they are backed off of you. It is an option to Sam Darnold. If they're giving you the cushion, then you throw the screen. If they're not giving you the cushion, you're running quick, you're throwing the ball down the field. You're moving the ball. You don't have left. Frank Gore is awesome, but he's old as hell. And P. Ryan's coming in. Use him in various ways. Get the ball down the field. Braxton Berrios is very fast.
Didn't see him at all.
Get him on a drag. Do something with these people that is down the field. That's what I'm saying. We need a win. The Jets fan base need a win. Otherwise, Adam Gase is gone. It's that
and if
simple.
we don't get the win tomorrow, I don't see many other wins coming up soon either because we have the Cardinals looming. We have, we have tough games. Joe, what are your last words? Prediction for tomorrow?
Listen.
Well, today, if people are listening to, because I'm probably going to release it, it's 10/19 Saturday, so probably be today on a Sunday. They'll be listening.
David saw me at my worst. My friends have seen me at my worst last Sunday.
I had to remove every screen in my new house for Joe's health.
There may be worse.
I was watching the game. I was having a mental breakdown, and then I dropped a thing of ranch. And it was a circular little tub of ranch that I got from Cluck You Chicken, and it fell perfectly and plopped on the ground.
Cluck You Chicken is great chicken in Jersey, right in the Seaside Heights area, Tom's River area.
I stood up, and I fell to my knees, and I cried. Tears came out of my eyes. Listen, I always have faith in my Jets, and I love this team with all my heart and soul. I care about 3 things in life. I care about God, family, and friends to group them together, and New York Jets football.
That's 4.
Well, no, I group friends and family together, okay? So, because I view my friends as my family, basically. Yeah. And to see them struggle like that, it physically hurt me. I told David that if we don't perform well next week, I'm going to get put into a coma. And I'm going to wake up 13 weeks later. It's going to be 3rd and 18. And I'm going to see either a draw play or a screen. I'm just going to flatline the hospital. Listen, the Jets fan base, they need a win. The past week, if you look, I'm happy we're not doing a video. We had thoughts about doing a video here. I have I'm breaking out right here. And it's literally since the Jets game. I'm stressing. Like, I don't eat. I really don't eat. I ate today because I haven't eaten. All I do is listen at work. I'm like dragging them, listen to things about the Jets. I'm so depressed. And man, we need a win. And if we win, let me say this: if we win, we're making the playoffs. That's just what it is. I told David, no matter what, I said right before the Bills game, if we come out of this 2-week stretch 1-1, we are making the playoffs.
Okay.
And for my mental sanity, we just need to win.
If we're 0-2, do we pack it in for Trevor Lawrence? With the rest of the schedule we have, or someone like Trevor Lawrence, depending on who comes out on top right now. Because Joe Burrow, they lost last Thursday night against the Browns. But, man, Joe Burrow's throwing the football down the field. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow is looking – he's a little bit – I think he's older than Sam Darnold already. So he has that poise. But why is it that every Jets rookie doesn't look able to do that? And the Bengals are no great franchise.
Well,
they're not a great franchise.
Let's
but
not kid ourselves.
Why is he coming out firing?
No, my question is why when Jeremy Bates was the offensive coordinator for Sam Darnold, why did he show improvement, and why am I seeing a regression under the offensive guru? So that's my main question.
That's true.
And the offensive guru being Adam Gase.
Yep.
And like you were saying, when it comes to Joe Burrow, he made a couple stupid mistakes here.
He's a rookie, of course, so he's going to do that.
You don't try to. Who did he try to truck spin? There was some.
Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, you don't do that. That's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, Richardson's a big man.
But when it comes to Sam Darnold, man, or when it comes to Sam Darnold or Trevor Lawrence, you just got to see where we end up. You play Sam Darnold, and you if we lose this game, pull out all the stops. Unleash Sam Darnold. Let him throw 49 times a game. That's all I want to see, because I want to see if we have our guy. And if we end up with the first-round draft pick, you could blame it on Adam Gase. He's
fired. No, he doesn't make 8 games. If the Jets are 1-7, 2-6, Gase is fired.
You could blame Gase, but if we are 1-7, or if we are 3 and whatever at the end of the season, Sam Darnold played a part in that.
Oh, 100%.
And this is your third year.
As a third year, you're done. Yeah. You don't get that $25 million coming to you next year.
You fight for a starting job with Trevor Lawrence. And
no. You're
probably not even
cut.
on the team anymore.
You don't get the opportunity. Yeah. You don't get that opportunity. You're a nice guy. You got mono because you kissed hookers. You obviously don't care about football that much if you were out kissing hookers all last year in a big year. That, last year we saw that was a team that was scrappy. That was a team that could have been much better if we didn't miss you 4 games, Sam. Sorry, bro.
We beat the Eagles. We
beat the Cowboys.
Well, the thing is with the mono thing.
No, we didn't beat the Eagles. We beat the Cowboys.
No, if Sam,
we would have beaten the Eagles probably.
We beat the Eagles. I say if Sam is healthy, we beat the Browns too. But the issue is, if Sam was healthy for the Browns game, that might have been him snapping his leg. So I'm kind of worried.
But if Sam also, he thinks he had the mono going into the Bills game the second week, and that's why he played so terrible. The first week, that's why he played so terrible. So
played too bad.
The second half he played like crap.
Oh well, yeah, they
were up 16-0. Then they came out and they couldn't move the ball.
But he came out and he was slinging it like
I don't know.
Le'Veon Bell, the kids.
So we're gonna move on from the Jets. I agree with both guys. We need a win. There is no moral victories. There is no losing a field goal. There is no, because this team isn't a playoff team as it's constituted. Joe, I think even with the win, it's an uphill battle. Joe's confidence is Joe's confidence, but we have a tough schedule. Even a win against the 49ers team without all their guys that are big time to them, but you know what though? Here's what's going to happen, guys. Our luck, Brandon Ayuk is going to arrive. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to find them. He's going to have 10 catches, 2 touchdowns, 130 yards. Jets are going to lose 31-24 in a good showing, and it's still going to be terrible. That's what's going to happen. The Jets are going to move the football, but we're not going to be able to stop Brandon Ayuk for whatever reason. Williams is going to put the Zerin pool specifically on him. Let Bless shut somebody down, and that's what's going to happen. That's how it's going to happen. Okay. Garoppolo's going to have 300 yards for the first time in his career against the Jets like Josh Allen did last week.
I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm going to say something that I've said to you.
I'm going to cry.
And I'm pretty sure I've said to you, Alex. When you have a play like the butt fumble,
you're done.
Your franchise has some years, 5 to 10 years after it.
You have 2 options.
You have 2 options. It's either you become a dynasty or you fold. And right now, the Jets are not on a dynasty track.
Yeah. Oh, man.
that sucks. Yeah, you're right. Honestly, you're not wrong. All right, so we're gonna move on before we all we're gonna have a team cry in a second.
This is legit the final thing on the Jets. It's the most interesting thing that I find. At the end of every Jets game, there's someone on Twitter. I'll retweet it every time I see it. He has a Sam Darnold meter.
No.
And it goes from like all the way to the left is draft Trevor Lawrence, and then all the way to the right is Super Bowl contender. Right now, he has the needle after week 1 is don't know what we have yet. So we're in a Mitch Trubisky kind of thing right now. Don't know what we have yet.
Mitch played good enough last week
he
to
played well in the
prove
fourth
that
quarter.
He's a starter for that team. But so we're gonna move on. UFC. We are currently watching on David's phone as we record. But this fight night's good. But Fight Island, they're returning to Fight Island. And is there anything better in sports right now? I know UFC might not have as big of a jump as they did when they were the only thing in town with NASCAR. But man, Fight Island is a gift. Dave, Joe, you guys are much bigger UFC fans than I am. I watch it because I stole David's ESPN Plus. ESPN don't take away our access. But Dave, I'll let you start first. What are you excited for in Fight Island?
Oh, everything. I love Fight Island. I got a Fight Island shirt. Are you kidding me? No, but I'm excited for the first fight, the return to Fight Island, that pay-per-view. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa.
That's 253, right?
Yes.
Yep.
253. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
Well, Adesanya's your favorite fighter, right?
Yeah,
so that's going to be a good time.
Fighter, but Paulo Costa...
Bender.
What?
The style bender.
Yeah. But Paulo Costa is going to move forward.
We hope.
Oh, 100. No, he's going to. I guarantee it he's going to. He actually wants to kill Israel Adesanya.
They don't like each other.
Yeah,
That's
at least it
great.
seems like they don't like
That's
each other.
great.
If they don't like each other, or they're playing it up very well. It's one of the two. So that's going to be a great main event. And the card was slightly lackluster before John Jones vacated the light heavyweight title. Because now we have a light heavyweight title bout between Dominic Reyes and John Blachowicz. I'm saying it wrong because I'm not good with Polish names. But those two are going at it for the light heavyweight title. I'm very excited for that as well. That's going to be a great time. But they're starting off at 253, ending it with 254, with multiple fight nights in between. Those fight nights look fun. One of the really fun ones to look out for is Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie. There's actual beef between them now. Like, they actually don't like each other now because the fight was supposed to be before, but some nonsense happened.
Can I talk about the fact that how fun it is that the Korean Zombie is actually marketed as the Korean Zombie, not his real name? Like, that
I
is
love T-City.
fantastic.
Both of them are so fun to watch.
He's so humble.
And what's cool is, and what I was saying to you both, Dave, is that the thing that Dana White, I think, has gotten right, where a lot of these other sports...
is his traps and his triceps. Do you see that guy sitting at the podium? He is yoked, dude. And he wants everyone to know. He holds the mic with two hands.
He's trying. Anyway, but one of the things he's gotten right with the UFC is, and one of the things a lot of other companies get wrong is, when they have like the not main stuff, they kind of just don't market it, throw it to the wolves, throw in their B squad. Dana White makes a storyline out of every single fight night, and he promotes the hell out of it like it's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And it's very smart in the way that he does it. And like you said, true fight fans are excited for the fight nights, because the last few fight nights, including this one that we've watched,
Covington versus Woodley. I'm going to be watching this fight this whole time.
They're loaded. They are loaded with good matchups. And they have constant names of guys and girls that you do know in there. It's not like they're all no names. And some of them are veterans looking for redemption and get back into the top 15 rankings. A newcomer that's on a streak fighting a guy that to get into those top 15. So many good things, and a lot of no names that are good fighters, freshly signed guys that if you're a big fight fan, you might know their name already. And it's like, I've been waiting for this guy to come from Bellator to UFC. Let's see what he does.
There have been guys that have jumped directly from the Contender Series this year to Fight Night cards already. Like, it's fun to watch. But Fight Island is going to be ending on 254 with Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje, and that's going to be very fun.
Does Justin Gaethje have a real chance?
Yes. Oh, 100%, because his stand-up is fantastic, but I think Khabib's just going to beat him. I'm not going to say Justin's going to
If
win.
Khabib beats Gaethje, is Khabib pound for pound the best fighter in the world, with Nunez taking her time off now?
Yes.
Because if Nunez was still active and still
Khabib
fighting, she's the best pound for pound fighter in the world.
Khabib's the best pound for pound fighter in the world.
Okay. But if Gaethje ends up beating Khabib. But where does he move? Because I don't think he's the best pound for pound.
No, he's not. But that throws a monkey wrench.
He'd be top 5 in the world at this point.
Everything.
Yeah.
That if Gaethje wins, then I don't know what the hell.
Does Conor come out of retirement to try and fight? Does he come out of retirement to try and demand a fight against Gaethje?
I don't know. Well, I have no idea.
One of the coaches for Khabib actually said that Conor's like the only competition.
Yeah, he said Conor was the best fight that Khabib was going to get. No one else is like Conor.
And and we'll see, because as great as Conor is, Khabib did make it look like it was a pretty easy day. Conor's obviously a very good fighter.
Down off of a stand-up punch.
Yeah.
It's not like he went for a takedown. No, he hit Conor.
Well, we say this every time we talk about Khabib on the show. He grew up wrestling bears. He's going to win.
But you know what, though? The thing with Conor, too, is he's not used to getting cleanly punched in the mouth. No one besides Khabib is able to break his defense like that, to cleanly punch him in the mouth that way.
Floyd rocked him.
Nate Diaz did.
And Nate Diaz beat his ass. And Nate Diaz got a lot of money in the second fight to throw it. Nate Diaz beat him 3 times in that second fight and let it go.
No.
I'm convinced Nate threw a lot through it and got a lot of money. There's no way Nate beat the hell out of him in the second fight. He really beat him in the second fight again. There's no way Conor should have won.
Say how freaking poised Tyron Woodley looks.
I know. He looks very ready.
He got taken down, but he looks ready. I think he's going to win this fight. He's a dog.
We'll see. But so Fight Island looks incredible. Just to return to Fight Island, their whole slate. Obviously, every card isn't built up yet, but the whole slate looks like so much fun. One disappointment is that the Tony Ferguson versus Dustin Poirier fight is not going to happen.
Oh no!
That was supposed to happen in 254.
Tony Ferguson fight.
That would just be violence. That fight, it would literally just be violence.
Once every
so much fun.
Joe, I'm going to ask you this: as COVID winds down, as coronavirus seems, hopefully, it's not for sure. We are getting into the fall. These viruses can take a second wave bump in the fall. We're hoping for a vaccine to hit soon. Mm-hmm. If everything goes according to what we want to happen, according to plan, and coronavirus starts to wind down, is Fight Island going to continue to be as frequent, or is it just going to kind of become a maybe 1-year novelty of like a WrestleMania thing where we have a month of Fight Island and then everything else is back in Vegas and stuff?
This is what I'd love to see for Fight Island. And like, this is just because of the way I thought about Fight Island in my head. Like, the energy is crazy. This is BDE.
Could you imagine fans in Fight Island?
No, not even that. Not even fans in Fight Island, Alex. What I'm saying is make it like you can't really make a pro ball kind of thing going, but take the roof off. It's a beautiful island.
That's the whole thing. Yeah,
take the roof off.
I would love that.
Let people fight. Let it not count against their record. Count it against something else maybe. And let them fight with like in the open air. Like that'd be sick. You get the view in the background, maybe a sunset, get a couple lights. And the energy Fight Island brings is crazy because they were like, oh, we can't play. Fuck it, let's buy an island.
That was it.
That is big dick energy.
Oh, what if another, I think, would be a fun thing if once a year they line it up where it's like title night, like they did the one time in Fight Island where it was literally just title.
That was also because everything was backed up.
Everything was backed up, but
so
what if
Supercard?
But what if they figure out a way to make Fight Island once a year Supercard where it's basically Fight Island title night, and that's a huge pay-per-view.
It's just tough.
Or majority titles or things like that.
There's no reason to have any other pay-per-views because a lot of the pay-per-views are based off of title fights.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it gets really tough with
That's why I think you do something that's similar to the Pro Bowl or like the NBA All-Star.
Yeah, but how many guys are going to want to go fight if it's not going to count?
No, I get it.
Because that's a different sport, too. There is no going soft.
Yeah. That would be a ton of fun, but I would see them doing 2 months out of year, Fight Island. I would love to go to Fight Island.
How bad would that hurt Vegas if they really did take away 2 pay-per-views out of the year? Because Vegas the commission does rely on that money, and UFC generates a ton of money for Vegas. Do you think Vegas would be opposed to that?
No, Vegas won't because they're going to get their money through bets anyway.
Okay, the sportsbook will keep them going.
That's the whole thing. And they already walk away from Vegas multiple times.
Yeah,
in pay-per-views.
They go to MGM
everywhere. They go literally everywhere. They go around the world for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So
MSG, I think they started doing now since it's been legalized in New York. So they go all over the world. So that's not going to be an issue.
All right. So rounding out UFC, we saw that Conor might be going into the booth.
I speculated that.
Do we think that? I think he'd be a disaster in the booth.
No.
I think he'd be terrible.
No, what I think they should do is put them in Barstool somewhere and let them like sign a deal with Barstool and let them have
Dion
their
is
own
the
stream.
perfect human being in Barstool. I knew nobody else. He said Dookie, and I'm cool with that. You talking about Dookie?
So what? I think I don't know if it was Dana exactly or one of Connor's managers. I can't remember exactly how I read it, but they said that they're planning for some fun stuff for Connor for 2021. I don't know what that means. I speculated, Booth. I speculated commentating because I don't know exactly what else you're going to do.
I don't think they would do that. I think he's gonna come. He's gonna come out of retirement for the third time.
But they have active guys doing commentary all the time. UFC is different that way, where they have active guys, which shows the respect that a lot of these guys have for each other. They can go and punch each other in the face and be honest commentary, and not even that. Just watch the guy fight again after they just fought them and potentially lost to them, and give honest commentary on how good they are. Or even if they beat them, honest. So that's like it's a respect thing. It shows it.
Yeah.
But all right, that's kind of going to close out UFC. I think we're done with the show, guys. After 17 hours of a show, but Cuesta Dos is back in a big way. We're now the Opinions Podcast Network. We're opening up to everything, so don't just expect some sports. We took you on a roller coaster ride. We made Joe cry 17 times. Some happiness in anime, some sadness in being bad at golf and Jets. But it was a good time. Probably won't do this live in person stuff for a little while, but I think they like my setup. I have a pretty cool setup here. If we could have the camera,
I enjoy this setup.
But Dave, any final words before we close out here?
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be doing it. This is always fun to do the podcasting, and I can't wait to start Idler.
Yeah,
to start the book podcast.
The book club.
I hope people listen to it. I hope people enjoy it
more than the 5 that listen to this.
Exactly. And please give me comments and on what I say about it. And I hope you read the books too.
And I think
I'm going to choose fun things.
And I think you did say that at points it's not going to be your main focus like I do interviews, but you would love to bring on some authors.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be a solo show a bunch of times.
Yeah.
A bunch of times. But I would love to bring on authors. I'd love to talk to people and just bring on people and talk about their favorite books.
I enjoy listening to audiobooks too. So, I would love to jump on and talk to you. Our sister.
What I would want is if I were to bring anyone on, give me your favorite book a week in advance. So I could read it.
Yep.
And I could comprehend everything and I can have a very meaningful discussion.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want. But I can't wait to start that because I really want to get through a ton of books. That's a lot of fun for me.
All right, Joe, any last things to say?
HACKnoCAP on Spotify and Apple Music, and I switched it on SoundCloud too.
All right. And again, that's David Cuesta, Joe Hackett, HACKnoCAP. Alex Cuesta. Thanks again for sitting through this marathon. I hope we had fun.
If you sat through all
of it. I hope everyone had a good time listening. We're back again. It's not going to be an hour and a half like it was every time. Like, David and I tried to keep it a little more between 45 minutes. So, but we were just back. We were excited. We were antsy. We had a third person that always extends the conversation. But it was a really good time being back again. Like I said, I'm going to be back on track with the media, and I'm going to be back on track with sports opinions. Me and Dave are going to claim to be back on track and record once every 2 weeks like idiots again. But
I might just record when we have news and talk about it.
Yeah, we might do something like that instead of forcing it. But happy to be back. Again, Cuesta Dos doesn't have a Twitter and Instagram yet, but we are switching over to OPN Opinions Podcast Network. So I'm going to set up a Twitter and Instagram. Probably the sports opinions ones are just going to switch over because I do cover all the podcasts on those anyway. It's probably just going to switch that over. And I hope everyone enjoyed listening. If you have a podcast idea and you want to jump on the network, more work for me, but jump on. Let's grow, baby. But all right, everybody, hope you enjoyed listening. Go listen to HACKnoCAP. Spread the word about how awesome this is. And hope everyone enjoyed the show.
Hated that.
Later, everybody.